Hello again, I am Coach Kim, and today we're going to be talking about focus. So one of the things that I have seen make really effective teams, really effective leaders is having the ability to focus on what you need to do and to get it done. And there's a couple of things that go into focus. One is we have to, first of all, figure out what our priority is. I was reading, I can't remember what book I was reading in this in, but recently I was reading that the word priority was never a plural word. It was always just singular, priority, meaning there's only one priority. It is only until recently in our culture where we have added the word priorities, which really doesn't make any sense when you think about it, because by definition, a priority is the number one thing that you need to focus on. So you have to figure out what is your priority that day, that week, that month, that year. And then when you know your priority, you need to be clear about how you're going to do it. So spending time and focusing on something is about a couple of different things. One, reducing distractions. You know, in our day and age, there's so much information flying at us from all different directions that is certainly very easy to get distracted. We might decide that we want to get on social media. We might just pick up our phones and see a text. We might decide to look at an email. A lot of these things are just distractions. They really are not things that need to be taken care of in that moment. They are just distracting us from what we need to be focused on. So those things we need to reduce. If you have an office, close your door, reduce the noise, ask others to leave you alone for a certain period of time so that you can focus. Any way that you can reduce distractions, do that. It's really, really important. Another thing is a technique that they talk about: set a timer for a certain amount of time and not very long, like 15, 20, 25 minutes. Focus on the task for that period of time. When the timer goes off, take a break for 5 minutes, go do something, walk around, go to the restroom, get some coffee, get some tea, come back, 25 more minutes at a timer. Do it again, 5 minutes, take a break. Do that about 4 times. And then once you've done it about 4 times, then go out and take a longer break, 20, 30 minutes, and then come back and try that again. So using the timer to tell you it's time to stop doing that is really effective. The other thing I recommend while you're doing it is turn your email off. Just don't even open it. Don't have it open. Turn your phone off, or at least mute it and put it face down so you don't see it. Get those distractions out of your space so that for 25 minutes at least, or 20 minutes, you can focus on what you're doing. All right. Another thing you want to do is eat well, give your body what it needs. So healthy vegetables, lean meats, good meats like salmon, that sort of thing. The fat in those meats really helps your brain functioning. Walnuts, some caffeine is good for that if you can handle that. Blueberries, blackberries, stuff like that. So healthy foods give your body the fuel, and your brain, most importantly, the fuel that it needs to do what it needs to do. Sleep. This is probably one of my biggest challenges right now in life, is getting enough sleep. I wake up a lot during the night. I'm trying lots of different things. It's not always, I don't know why, it's just different reasons that I wake up. Sometimes I could fall back asleep quickly, sometimes I can't. But I do notice on the days that I have not slept very well, I am not as focused. It's much harder to get my brain to really pay attention to what I'm trying to do. So sleeping is really important. Make sure you have a dark space to sleep in, that's cool enough to sleep in. Kind of wind down before you go to bed. Don't just be watching television, and then try to go to bed, or don't read your phone and then try to go to bed. Like, give your brain some time to come down and slow down. Reading a book is helpful. Sometimes just talking to somebody is helpful. So doing things to slow down so that you can hopefully turn your brain off enough to get good sleep. And then set some SMART goals. So SMART goals are all about specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely, right? So whatever goals that you set, you want to know, you want to be able to quantify them. So instead of saying, I want to make more money next year, you want to set the amount of money. You want to get clear about it. So when you're doing your things, you're working on your priority, not priorities, priority, set a SMART goal around it. For this 25 minutes, I'm going to do this, or today I'm going to get this done quantifiable in a timely fashion, you know exactly what you're working towards. And then use the strategies of maybe 20, 25 minutes working on it, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes working on it, 5 minutes break. And then being more mindful is another big thing. I think this is hard for a lot of us, being present in the moment. So, taking a moment to feel the desk, if you're sitting at your desk to do some work, or if you're going on a walk, being present with how the ground feels under your feet or the air feels on your skin. If it's a sunny day, how the sun feels. If it's a cold, cloudy day, how does that feel? Just rainy, all those different things. Like, pay attention to your senses, the smells, the sights, the sounds. Those things help bring you into the present moment. And then sit down, take some breaths, and start to work on whatever it is you need to work on. And then the other thing I would say is break down the priority into achievable tasks that feel good. I was working with a client this morning, and she gets very overwhelmed because the goals that she wants to achieve are fairly big, fairly large. But when we started breaking it down, like, okay, so this week, what do you need to get done? And she started telling me, and we put a due date on it. All of a sudden that felt doable, right? So when we're biting pieces off in small pieces, or biting chunks off in small pieces, we can work towards our bigger goal. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So, and I don't know why that's an example of eating it. I don't want to eat an elephant, really. I don't think anybody does. I love elephants. So, but that's the saying. So when you're moving towards doing your bigger goal, make it in bite-sized chunks so that it's doable, and put due dates on them so you know what you have to have done by a certain date. Again, use the strategies to help you focus and then get those things done. So focus is number one thing that's important when teams are successful, when leaders are successful. And take a look at your kind of situation, how you do it, and if there are some areas for improvement. Until next time.